Millions of Americans are facing threat of foreclosure, and they want Washington to do something.
Home foreclosures increased by a staggering 112% over the past year.
John McCain pointedly blamed the housing crisis on both irresponsible lenders and Americans who borrowed more than they can afford.
The McCains have assets of at least $36.5 million. Some estimates actually put her worth at about $100 million.
You know, it's tough to have to pack up and leave the house that we loved and the first house that we bought. We bought the house in 2003. In the end, our mortgage was 15.75%, and we could no longer afford to make the payments.
And 51 million homeowners are doing what's necessary, working a second job, skipping a vacation, and managing their budgets to make their payments on time.
If it was really just a matter of skipping vacations, for us it was a choice between whether we were going to put food on the table or pay the electric bill or pay the mortgage. I had to take a second job working at a children's clothing store at the mall, and my husband took a job working nights at the local Home Depot.
Any assistance must be temporary and must not reward people who are irresponsible at the expense of those who weren't.
I don't feel like I did anything irresponsible. I got my mortgage and I was making the payments and wasn't late on any. And then when it started getting out of hand, I tried everything that I could to be able to make the payments, and I just couldn't do it.
McCain's top economic advisor, Phil Gramm, resigns after referring to Americans as a nation of whiners.
I can assure Senator Gramm and Senator McCain that the people who are facing foreclosure are not whining, they're hurting.
One of the hardest things for us was to find a new place to live, because as we were going around looking at houses, every house we applied for was turning us down because our credit rating was so low because of the foreclosure.
Phil Gramm was working as a lobbyist for a foreign bank here in the United States. That is, the former Texas senator was paid to lobby Congress specifically about the mortgage crisis at the exact same time he was helping to craft Senator McCain's economic policies.
It makes me doubt whether he has the best interests of the people at heart or whether he has the interests of the corporations.
I've always been committed to the principle that it's not the duty of government to bail out and reward those who act irresponsibly, whether they're big banks or small borrowers.
It got to the point where our mortgage was $2,400 a month and my take-home pay was only $2,200 a month. So what were we supposed to do?
The wealthy. Always be interested in when people talk about who the, quote, wealthy are in America.
We don't expect John McCain to be on a shoestring budget when it comes to shoes, but $520 Ferragamo calfskin loafers?
My husband was running for the Senate in Arizona, and in Arizona the only way to get around the state is by small private plane, and I wound up loving it and buying a plane and, you know.
I don't think unless you've been in this situation that you can truly appreciate how hard it is for people.